as you grow, you learn to like critique yourself.
Yeah.
I feel like when you learn how to not overly critique, but critiquing yourself, then there's no room for offense and pride. They'll happen. It's natural.
Yeah.
But you have to resist it. The only way to resist something is to know what it looks like, what it sounds like, what it feels like.
Yeah.
And once it happens, you gotta be like, okay, I want to say something because I feel very proud of what I did, and I think I did this. But then the best way to do that, you start thinking about everybody else's perspective. I feel like we're about to have a meditation. That's what this feels like. Man. All right, that's what sister. It feels. the ohms. Yeah, the ohms.
You got your mantras right.
Yeah.
You got your mantras ready. Do you meditate at all?
In prayer, yeah, for sure.
What'd you say?
Yeah, I do a lot of meditating and praying.
Okay.
I spend like a lot of time, but more specifically on the weekends, just kind of like.
Yeah.
All right, let me just get the week out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I try to like just sit quiet for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, like using noise cancellation and stuff like that. Or I'll put on music that I know will get me there.
Yeah. What kind of, you want to see yourself first?
Oh, yeah. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, that's Betty! Yeah, no, it's dope. I like it.
You fuck with that? Cool. Mics are hot.
Oh, hey, look, it's Uncle.
You want to clap in with me?
Huh? Oh, yeah. Is it, what kind of clap? You got to leave me. I'm like, is it a slow
I got
clap?
to brief you.
Huh?
I got to brief you. So, just to get the audio right, you know, like lined up, and so our mouths can like move with the audio.
Okay.
We can clap after the one. So I'm gonna count 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
And then after the one, we'll clap.
Okay.
You ready?
Yes.
How wide are you? Okay. You got a wide.
I'm
wide
like,
bit. I'm like, good.
Is it? Okay.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Oh, you fuck with that or not?
Yeah, no, that went. Let's try
No,
again.
let's run that back.
Let's try.
That back. All right. 3, 2, 1.
There we go. That was more effective.
You felt that in your soul?
Yeah, I did. That was more effective.
Good. How you feeling?
Good. I feel good actually.
Do you?
Yeah.
Were you not expecting to feel good?
Yeah. Jesus, here we go. I apologize in advance for excessive laughing.
No, it's all good. Laughter is good for you.
Listen, I be trying to explain this to people.
What, that laughing is good?
Yeah, in life.
People don't like laughing?
No, I think people try to be too cool.
Oh yeah.
Or like too chill, and it's just like there's no way. There's no way if somebody falls in the rain that you're not gonna chuckle a little bit.
You're gonna get some. Are you the type to like help first and then laugh later? Or you about
I might help and laugh like
at the same time.
All right, Grandpa, you right?
Yeah.
It might be that kind of.
When's the last time you seen a grown adult fall?
Probably every time it rains here in LA.
For real?
Guaranteed. I mean, like, I feel like a lot of people out here, you know, they act so surprised by rain.
Yeah.
I'm like, one, it's a part of the ecosystem, so it's going to happen.
Yeah, at some point.
Not a lot, but it happens. But, and then they wear, like, shoes that are, you know, in the rain.
No, out here. Crocs.
Yeah, and the oil comes up, so you got to, like, have the right kind of shoes on, and they be out here with Chucks, and I'm like, listen, you know,
the rubber soles.
Yeah, it's over for you.
Yeah,
it's over for you quick.
Yeah. So you just laugh through it, huh?
I do. I have to. Life is really serious. And it gets super heavy. Yeah. And it's like, I got to find a way to get up out the box. It'll box you in real quick.
Yeah, it's important to find something to laugh at. You know what I mean? Like, especially like, I be like really looking forward to like shitty situations to like be able to look back on them and laugh at them. Yeah.
I like the way you ended that off.
Yeah, it was just like
that was like a rapper's ad-lib.
It was, you know, those return thoughts that like you're like, oh, you came to the same conclusion on. Like you haven't thought about it in a minute, and then you're like, oh yeah, that's how that ended in my head.
Some of my best moments with my friends have been me telling them stories of moments in life that at some point were not funny. But now I can have the best, the biggest laugh about it. Yeah, I just told like our youth group had like a get together. Yeah, like a couple folks from church. Yeah, and the teens and stuff, and we're just sitting talking, and I started telling them about the fight that I didn't win.
Oh, you
didn't win this fight in college, and it didn't happen. It didn't look good for you, girl. Now it's funny.
Did you come out with injuries or what?
Yeah, it was like a 2-part fight. The first part. It started at my dorm in Alabama State. Shout out to them.
And a 2-part fight.
Yeah, it was a back to back.
What?
I think it was a Friday night.
Where did you find the energy? Like, because with fights,
I was 18.
Like with fights, like how long did each round go? Like,
oh, for sure, short. The first one was a little baby fight. She was drunk. I was mad. I like heard she was calling out for me from outside my dorm. I ran downstairs with the hands ready, thought I was about to do something.
You're way too ahead in this story. What? I can't even imagine you beefing with anybody. Like, why was she on your head like that?
That's a longer story. But
do we not? Or is time constraining us, or do you just not want to?
I don't want to put all the business because some of the parties were still cool, and we just got back to being cool, and I don't want to open that wound.
You gotta protect your political.
I don't want to open. I do. Well, they're like, because it was involving friends from my old high school. To be honest, honestly, out of everything, I will say I was wrong. I was 18. Wrong. I could have like if it was the person that I am now, then I would have like not gone outside.
Well, look at you.
I would have just pulled them to the side. You know what I'm saying?
Look at the growth, man.
I was still in like trap Maryland life that I thought I was, and I wasn't really a trap kid. Like that wasn't my lifestyle.
Everybody has like a persona that they like. You talk to yourself like when you in your teens, like that's. Like, if you told that version of you to tell them who they were, it'd be totally like.
Oh yeah, for sure. I was like short fused, ready for fight. Yeah, 100%. Because I got offended so easily. Because I got picked on so much. 100%. I had a bad attitude about like if you got into my feelings, if you found a way in my feelings, then I was trying to see you. Whether I could fight or not didn't matter. I would just go see you.
You have a sharp mouth.
You said a sharp mouth?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Were you able to get the jokes off? Like you're roasting?
Oh, no.
You're sparring?
Now I can. Now I got the jokes. I keep jokes in the tuck.
So what was your defense mechanism back then?
Oh, fist. That was
really?
It.
So you was a primetime fighter.
I couldn't fight. Yeah. I was just ready.
That's what I'm trying to like. There's like a dissonance here because like if you go straight to fisticuffs. Like you weren't scared, like you were just angry though.
Yeah,
like,
I had like a little bit of an anger management problem. After that fight, the first one was a wash. We both fought on the way down the steps, and then bruh, listen.
You didn't. Did you come like all bones were still intact?
Yeah, we were good. Campus police come on and they're like. Break it up, and then everybody go to separate rings, and then the next day I wake up and I'm thinking it's a regular day. I'm mad. Yeah. You feel a little sore. That kind of, but nobody really won. Like there was no clear thing because she was drunk. So I obviously took advantage of the situation.
You can't even count
That's what I'm saying. Like it wasn't a good thing, but we rolled down the steps. So I feel like nobody won that. But the next day, I get outside my dorm. Everybody came back.
No way.
All like 5-6 dorms, guys, girls, were outside the dorm talking about rematch.
No way.
This is like something out of an 80s movie.
Yeah, they was egging it on.
Bro, it was wild. And I'm just like, I won the fight. Me and my pride. Nobody win nothing, Betty. You lost. Everybody lost. Take it to the chin.
You was coerced into another, like...
I didn't want the second fight, but I was trying to, keep my pride. But then her homies came into the dorm, and when I was in the shower, they were taunting me and cutting the lights on and off.
Fighting.
Yeah, no, not yet. I know. That's what I was afraid of. I was like, I'm not in this position.
Come on, man.
But eventually, we ended up having the rematch happen on the 3rd floor of our dorm.
Wait, was it like all right, coming in on this corner? Like, what?
I wish I would have had more time.
It was a planned fight.
It felt like it.
You had promoters.
I ran up. It felt like it. The promoters were the haters. The haters from the dorms. Why? From her dorm and from my dorm. It was so bad because when I got in. So there are thoughts that run through a person's mind when they walk into a situation they know they're not about to win. No. And these are the thoughts. Well, thought number 1, you barely made it through last night. Thought number 2, did we wear the right sneakers? Thought number 3.
What did you see that you was like...
Are you ready?
Yeah. Yeah. What did you know about her to be like, I'm not going to win this? Like, was it her specifically?
Because I remembered this shit. I knew it in the back of my mind. The strong reason... Because I had heard whispers of her being a boxer, like a trained boxer, and she was from Wisconsin. Again, no shade to nobody. I'm taking all responsibility for this ridiculous fight. Okay? I take it to the chin, and I did.
You knew this before, and you still wanted to smoke?
100%. The pride. I'm telling you, pride. Listen, pride to get you killed.
That's a hell of a drug right there.
100%. So I go in there, everybody hyping me up, and her back was turned, so I took a sucker punch.
No way. Not you. Not you.
I'm not proud.
You were for admitting you did you took the sucker punch.
I was like, I gotta make it through this fight. No. She's gonna kill me. I did. I know it.
You came through with the blindsided.
Yep.
From behind.
Yeah, she turned and I was ready. I was like, what? That was the only one I landed, and I just barely landed it.
Did you think that was gonna drop her though?
I did. In my mind, just 18-year-old man. I just thought,
You thought you had that much gusto behind your haymaker.
In my mind, I'm like, oh, I'm about to get her. I'm about to get it. Why I thought I was like in that lane. I thought I was Popeye. Had the spinach and everything. So then after that one, then this right here scared me. Just imagine a real boxer when they square up after the first hit. No. When she did the square up and the shoulders got firm, and then she did the little bobbing, little left right.
You about to.
Listen, in my mind, I'm like, Jesus, I promise I will go to class. I'll quit weed. I won't have no sex. I promise to you, Father, please get me out of this alive because I made a mistake. Yeah. I did. And I just remember I closed my eyes and I was just swinging. And they were laughing at me last Friday, like, what you mean? Because they like to call me Auntie Betty. They're like, Auntie B, what you mean? You was out here with with just the closed eyes swinging? Yes. I was fighting with my eyes closed.
You was fighting
because I prayed that I wasn't going to die.
Yeah. So what happened? She gets you clean?
So that happened for a little bit. Obviously, she landed a couple. I tried my best to bob and weave to the best of my ability.
Did you get dropped?
No, I didn't get dropped, but a few hit the jaw. But I missed a couple, so thankfully. But then the last one is what did me. I had turned and I didn't see it, but somebody had handed her a sock with a combination lock. These were new tactics. I've never seen. So apparently, this is trap fighting.
She's cheating.
Listen, one of her homies, I don't know which one to this day, handed it to her. And she threw it, and it landed on my right eye. I actually have a little bit of difficulty.
It could have got really
on the right
bad.
eye. It almost did actually.
That's crazy.
That was actually really scary, and that's one of the reasons I kind of low key have to wear
a combination. Really?
Yeah.
So what happened with your eye? Like, did it get like detached?
It was a little swollen, but what happened next was even crazier. All I hear is the cops on campus. Everybody break. I could smell weed. My friend grabs me, throws me into her dorm room that's right around the corner from the hallway, and she puts me in there, and then she opens it, throws a thing of grape jelly at me, and then so I could put it on my eye, and then she just leaves me in there. I was in there for like 40 minutes with nobody because because they were looking for us, and the campus security had all these questions, but somehow the cops were on campus. I was like, Montgomery, Alabama is a hell of a place, I swear. And we all ended up in the campus security. Somehow we all ended just turning ourselves in because they knew our information. I was like, might as well. And it was one of the craziest things in my life. Man. And I'll never forget it. But it was definitely a fight I could have avoided. Pride is a drug and it's dangerous. Yeah. Don't do it.
Did your pride shift from that point on?
Yeah. Well, it started to.
Yeah. It's a process right there. It's not an off and on switch.
Yeah, it's a combination of a lot of things. Yeah. It's the way I grew up getting picked on. It's the background, huh?
Were you bullied?
For sure, yeah. Like not really in high school, but more so, like I guess like fifth to eighth grade. School? 5th to 8th grade, yeah. I went to private school for a little bit.
So then I was in private school like all up until college.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a jungle out there. Yeah. It's very interesting like how they treat people, and like I went through a lot of that type of stuff. And then when you're African, you already have like a natural pride that your family instills in you, which is not all bad. Yeah. You should be proud, but the pride can be dangerous.
I feel like that's a very actually no, it's all Africa. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, always.
It's the whole continent for sure.
Yeah, that, and then of course, last but never least, like your hometown. Being from Maryland, like people also are, whether you from the Trap or from DC or whether you from Maryland or Virginia, wherever it is.
Where were you from?
Maryland, technically.
Yeah.
But anywhere in the DMV, everybody's always ready to scrap. So it didn't matter whether you could fight or not. Yeah, but I didn't really know how to fight. I knew I had to stand up for myself.
Yeah.
And sometimes I would win, and sometimes I wouldn't. And that's
what's your record looking like? Like,
I don't think. I'm on the up. I think I'm on the down, my brother.
You're not above 500.
I feel like that last fight took me down a couple points. If I had any good points, I feel like that took a.
You know what? I never understood though is like. Why women fight the way they fight?
Oh, what you mean, like with
the hair point? Like it's never a closed fist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
I'll give you a closed fist, but the problem is like I don't have any type of like it's not a straight punch. It's always been like this.
Yeah,
it's still this.
Yeah, so I see that too. What? Okay. Like let's take it. Let's break this down, all right? Because like. We all seen what a punch looks like. We've all like been there. Like we've all seen a boxing match at some point. Uh-huh. Why did like the whole species of women just say fuck that, we gonna punch like this? Like from
I don't know.
We gonna like use this part of the soft meaty part. The most meaty, like I think at the end of the day, like you guys don't even want to be fighting.
Nah, it's bad, bro. It's
like you guys are fighting more to like show the gesture of fighting, more than to like I'm trying to hurt you. Mm-hmm.
It's true.
Why is it like that? I'm so confused. Like
I don't know. I mean, for me, I that's just the way I've seen. I have brothers, so we fought like kids, siblings fight. Yeah. And then I feel like the first time.
That's it right there.
That's it?
Yeah, because
that messed me up. Fight with my brother?
No, I think because I feel like women fight like siblings.
Oh.
Because you know what I'm saying? Because like.
Yeah, that's a serious observation, my man. That is though.
Because like. When you fighting your sibling, you're not really about to. If you draw blood, it might be an issue for you with your parents. Yeah. So you just trying to shake things up a little. You're not trying to drop them. You're just trying to
so true.
And I feel like women fight the same way. It's just like it's more for like the like the movements and like I'm at blows with you type like. But like I'm not trying to like knock your teeth out type shit.
I feel like me and my brothers tried that, but it's all up now.
For real?
Yeah, the three of us were very possessive.
Oh yeah.
Up. And I think that's the way
you were the oldest. What?
Yeah, but they were also like, no, man, you ain't about to just because you oldest. And I'm like, cool, we could fight about it. All right, then, and then it becomes a 3-way fight.
Damn.
For no reason over the remote. Because I didn't want to watch WCW or something, so something real simple.
You weren't for the wrestling.
Nah, I remember The Rock. I remember Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah.
I remember one of the guys that was always in a suit. That's all I got.
McMahon or something.
Oh yeah, him. Yeah. I think her name was Chyna.
I remember Chyna.
She was crazy.
Yeah.
I think that's it though. I think that's everybody I can remember. I feel like if I see photos, I would know more.
Yeah.
But after a while, I kind of surrendered.
You didn't have the games?
They did. My brothers definitely did.
Versus WWE.
They definitely did.
Yeah.
That was more of the arguments. It's like, you're taking up the TV time. Mom won't let us watch TV. Yeah. come Monday.
Yeah, quiet as kept though. I don't know if I can fight anymore. Like how do you know if you can?
I feel like you should now.
Yeah, like
unless you're defending your honor, your wife. Like it should be.
Yeah, just like it's one of those things. Is like I haven't like really seriously fought.
Yeah.
And
you really thinking about this?
Like I'm just trying to think like. Mm-hmm. Like it'll all be like I feel like I'll just get all the abilities right when the moment happens again. Mm-hmm. Like all of a sudden I get all the powers. Mm-hmm. So like, but I don't know. I honestly I don't know if I can fight. You know what I mean? Like
that's a real concern though.
Like once you get to a certain age, it's just like, can I? Like I might not make it through this one.
Yeah. Well, that's an interesting thing. I always think of when I get to a certain age, the things that I will and will not do. Yeah. And I used to always think like when I get to a certain age, I'm not gonna take what my mom says so seriously. Yeah. Because she calls me with like these interesting ideas. Yeah. And I never am down with them. Yeah. The regular stuff, I'm always down to talk to my mom, but she's either like calling me with some master plan of how I'm going to get married. They be wilding. I'm like, what do you be at the house doing? Yeah. Outside of work, like what y'all be doing?
Is she applying pressure in that regard?
Oh, listen, she's been applying pressure since I was in high school. Like when you leave high school, you're gonna go to college. We're gonna find you nice Habesha man, and then as time goes on, it goes from we're gonna find you nice Habesha man to we're gonna find you nice man. This is what I call the desperation zone. Okay, and then one day I never forget this. Her and her homies was in the kitchen. It was like a Christmas celebration. Yeah. And they were talking about like what's going on with my life. And I was like, all right, y'all, we ain't about to do this. Y'all ain't about to gang up on me in the kitchen. And I'm over here peeling these potatoes for you and your dinner. Yeah. Okay, I'm working for free. Don't you put pressure on me. Yeah. And, then all of a sudden my mom's like, actually, you know what, Betty? If you decide to have babies with somebody, so I can have it and you're not married, it's okay. Are you encouraging me to have no man as my husband and not? Nah, Mom, I'm not rolling. You sounding real desperate right now. You're good. You tripping.
Yeah. So you want to have that it's almost like insurance. Yeah. Of like would you say marriage?
Yeah. Like I'm not even that. I believe in the foundation and the establishment of a marriage. Mm-hmm. A marriage is. I'm basing this off of like what I've learned in life. Mm-hmm. Thanks to my church, and then also from my friends that are married. Yeah. That have been married for a year, 2 years, 20 years, 5 years, 10 years. Yeah. And as I've learned and watched it, the marriage is two people that are separate. They come together. They merge, but what they were already assigned to do in life is already kind of going in the same direction. Mm-hmm. So if the marriage is right, naturally what they do, what they're really meant to do in life will already naturally come together, and they'll start to do things to support one or the other, or they'll do things together, or they'll work on something as a unit. But either way, the world benefits from it. Because it's the power of the woman who is very analytical, very detail oriented, very good at managing, and the man whose job is really to have the vision. And so the man's vision is like this. I imagine it like a freeway. So the man's vision is very tunnel vision, but it's meant to be like that. And that's the best thing about the way men see things.
Practicality.
Exactly. And that's important. But the woman has a wider view. So as the man has like blinders on, I envision that the woman is like no blinders. She sees everything around it, but she keeps him on his track. So anything on the outside is already taken care of. And I'm like, that to me is a perfect marriage. It doesn't say that she only does this. No, she works in like conjunction with like the vision. So I'm like, marriage is like it's the business. Mom, I'm not gonna listen to you.
I kind of feel like it is a business. Like it's a business partnership. You know what I'm saying? Like
100%.
Like it's something where, you know, like you said, like two people coming together for a common goal. What do you think that common goal is, though? Like, is it to like physically? Is it to physically it's like establish family and protect it, and or I mean, there's also marriages that like they don't have children and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's actually I'm glad you said that, because everyone isn't meant to have kids. Which is fine, because it's just not everybody's task. Right. But I think it's not really a generation thing. I think it's just the way the world is now. They've established marriage is so focused on family. It's honest to God, all of us technically were the responsibility of our parents to a certain age. And like, I know a lot of people joke about like, oh, my parents kicked me out at 18 or 21 or whatever. Whatever point, you know, you were kicked out of the house. But honestly, like, they shouldn't have to cater to you after a certain age, because they get us to a certain point and the rest of it is up to you. You're supposed to figure out what you're meant to do. They can only guide you, teach you, whether through religion or prayer or, you know, whatever knowledge and wisdom they instill in you. But like, you got to go do it. But I envision marriage is beyond family and like that stuff. I feel like an assignment could be anything. You and your, you know, wife might be meant to open up an orphanage and then open up a chain of orphanages, or, you know, orphanages throughout Africa. We don't know. But that's something that doesn't really include family, if you think about it. That's a mission to help other people. So I feel like specifically people that are married, you should already know it before, but as you grow together, I feel like especially the couples I've watched that are my friends, I'm like, I see them create ideas between the two of them, and I'm like, it's supposed to benefit other people. And
what the marriage?
The marriage, the product, the byproduct of a marriage, I feel like should benefit people, whether it's business or orphanage or shelters. You know, businesses that could literally create new jobs for people. Businesses that can bring highlight to issues in different parts of the world. Like, I feel like it should always be to help other people whenever two people decide to join their lives together.
Do you think that same task can be done without being married, though?
I think to an extent, but I think there's always like a small window. Because I've almost been married before.
Really?
Yeah. And
when was that?
This was like, this was like 21. So it low-key shouldn't count. So I feel like at 21, you make a lot of hasty decisions. Like, let's move in together.
Your like decision like phase of your life was busting, you know, from 18 to like, it sounded like your early 20s.
I mean, there's a few hundred stories to be had from 18 to, I would say, honestly, to about 30. I'm 33 now, so the past 3 years I've been chilling.
Dang. So this is a new thing, the kind of relatively new, like the chilling phase.
That honestly is. I still turn up a little bit.
Yeah. Tell me what happened when you was 21? Like, what was happening?
That was just somebody I was really in love with, and I literally like imagined my whole life around him, and I was obsessed with him, and we were quote unquote playing house. He moved in with me. He actually helped me move in financially. I didn't have all the money for the deposit.
Yeah.
He's a good dude. But we drove each other crazy. We drove each other insane. But in my mind, I was like, we're going to get married. Yeah.
There was just no like doubt in your head. Like
no, there was.
You saw all the red flags and you just drove right through them.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Between the two of us, I was very accusatory.
So he was on that same shit then too.
Mm-hmm. We were both tripping. We were both tripping. We were crazy, cheating on each other.
Damn. You guys was out there in the streets.
Yeah, but I feel like those are mistakes that you make at that age because like you don't know that. Life goes on. Yeah. Like, you don't know that this is the time to break up, actually.
Oh, yeah.
The reason you cheated is because you are already moved on mentally.
What does the time to break up even look like? I feel like we're always like, all right, let me do it after the birthday. Bruh. All right, then let me do it after the holiday. And it just never, like, you can't even be cordial. Like, you have to be a mean person when you break up someone. Yeah. You just have to. You gotta be like real serious.
Yeah, you gotta close the deal.
Yeah, you gotta like not. Yeah. You gotta. There's no cordial way of breaking up.
There is no.
Like someone's going to get hurt. Yeah. Someone's going to get hurt.
But that's what I feel like when you're dating, it's that. But when you decide to marry, you go through I feel like again, I haven't done it yet. But I feel like y'all go through this plethora of questions and decision making that says at the end of the day we in this thing to the end.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So that's
a conscious decision.
Yeah, and I feel like that's it. I feel like that and knowing that you guys are heading in the same direction in life, that y'all want the same things to happen for yourselves and in the world, I feel like okay, then that works because then you guys have a vision to focus on to the end.
But can you do that without a piece of paper? Do you think it's possible?
So the marriage is like a contract. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. That's that business aspect.
Yeah, exactly.
But I feel like that ceremony honestly just initiates that the relationship is said and done. Yeah. In every aspect and way, I am saying and agreeing we are one. Yeah. And I'm good with that.
It's a ritual that still has substance to it. Mm-hmm.
If people take it seriously, because people be out here playing.
They be blind on their vows, yo.
And honestly, I don't believe everybody's meant to be married. I'm going to keep it 100. Because I got some friends, and they be like, nah, I think the next one, she going to be it. Nah, bro. You don't need nobody. You got 3 baby mamas, and they all different. Yeah. I think this is where we call it a quits, fam. Yeah. Take care of them kids. Like, I don't want to tell you.
Just,
You don't know how to love right. Like, I don't want to tell you.
Yeah. I mean, it's just not many options open left. Sometimes you just gotta come clean that way. Just be like, hey, listen, bro. Yeah. This might be the move for you.
Yeah. That's why I be telling my mom, like, I don't want to rush. Like, she called me a couple months ago. Hello, Betty. I'm like, hey, Mom. I have a question. Would you think about freezing eggs? And I'm like, freezing eggs. Who taught you this term?
This is something I feel like Habesha moms come together. Like they have a network. I believe it. They have a private thing, and it's probably on Viber. Like they've all came together. Chat. Yeah, they've all came together. They've all given an update on their own children. I'm like, okay. And then someone in that group chat came in and was like, they link first. They dropped the link first. It was like eggs, freezing eggs. Have you guys heard about this?
Bruh, that was what I was thinking. I was like, who told you about this? You don't know what this is. Yeah. I'm sure even if you saw it on TV, it still wouldn't make sense to you. Yeah. So I know my mom, she's, not that she can't understand it, but in my mind, I'm like, that wouldn't make sense to you. Yeah. She's like, no, I will give you the money. You're getting old. So we have to save the egg. So maybe one day you can make the choice. I'm like, Mom, because I'm also trying not to, I'm crying and laughing at the same time at work. Yeah. I'm at my desk and it's an open desk and it's no walls. Yeah. People walking by like, you all right? I'm good. I'm good. Talking to my mother. They like, oh, okay. They keep walking. Yeah. And I'm just like, what is this? Mom, no, we're not talking about this. I know. But Betty, give it some time to think. They don't take no for an answer. Yeah. Give some time to think. I talk to you later.
Parents love the art. Just think about it. Like so, Like the first answer wasn't real. Like it was just somehow that was a fake one. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Why are they so obsessed with like? I don't think the world needs more people in it. You know what I mean? Like, so why are we so obsessed with like? Myself guilty as charged too. So too is like, why are we so obsessed with like offspring and stuff? Like it's just like,
oh, it's the legacy. That's it.
Yeah,
it's the legacy. I feel like, and it's the legacy in two different viewpoints. Like for the woman, it's the legacy of everything she could have dreamed and imagined, because we're so, we are sensitive.
Yeah,
and which is not a bad thing.
Yeah,
but and for the man, that's it. That's your seed.
Yeah,
that's it. That's who's gonna carry on your stories, your life, your history. Like now, I'm so obsessed with their history. My parents have your
parents' history.
Yeah, like the way they came. Like if you think about all of our parents, the way they came to this country wasn't like a straight flight.
No,
none of them came here on a straight flight. My dad went to Kenya, went to South
Especially,
Africa.
Did your dad come to flee Ethiopia?
Nah, that's what they put on the papers though. They all put that they came here in asylum. These niggas was lying. Like there was no asylum happening.
They just trying to evade communism, or what?
Well, my dad maybe not. He just wanted to go live his life. Yeah. Listen.
Your dad sounds pretty adventurous.
He was. He lived in Paris. He lived in Amsterdam. Lived in New York, and somehow landed in Virginia. And I'm like, I don't know how that happened. I don't know why you didn't just stay in New York. Now you made that decision.
He's just a traveling man.
Yeah.
He was just a nomad in a way.
Yeah, it's true. But my mom wasn't too far off. She was also from Asmara to Kenya. Then she stayed in Greece for a long time. She was in Greece for a minute, and then same thing, kind of went to New York, and then kind of went to VA, and that's how they met. And I'm just like, they have such crazy stories because so many things happen. Like my mom was like a virgin till she got married. Like she was and she still is a very like conservative woman. Like, don't you call her late at night? Don't you ask her to drive when the sun goes down? Don't you do it? Yeah. Don't you just pop up on her? Don't you do that? She needs notice. Like,
like you gotta call before you come type.
Yeah, she gotta get dressed. She gotta put her life together. Does she have an
iPhone?
Yeah, we tried that and it was a fail.
You can't
she
just
wants
FaceTime
one though, and I'm like, no.
You can't just
all you see is the chin. All they do is the whole time. Hello, behte. Hello, can you see me? No, I see your chin. Give me the phone.
It's supposed to be conducive to
set it down.
Like you're supposed to be able to use it easily.
It's a fail. She got a Droid now, and I'm like, this is good. I want the new phone. No, you don't need a new phone. Look, I'm about to get you a flip phone.
They don't use none of the features. So you found all that about? Did you make any like connections? Was like finding out all that about your parents? Like, were you like, oh, this is where I get something about me from? Yeah,
there's there are different parts. I'm trying to think of the one of the most favorite. My dad has a mysterious life, but I am on a mission to get as much information as I can out of his life. Because he was a cool dude. Because he don't really explain a lot of stuff. He just leaves it real vague. Because I know he was in the streets. He was in the streets. He's like, I don't want my baby girl to know nothing. Come on, man. Give me the goods.
Let me know. Let me know you're a human being.
Yeah, one time, I never forget this. I was in college. Per college stuff, I hit my dad up like, I need some gas money. So he's like, all right, come to DC. I'm at the job. He worked at a parking garage near the White House.
Okay.
It was like near a government building.
Yeah.
And so I, pulled up and I was like, all right, Dad. I had his old truck.
Yeah.
I need some gas money. I rolled up on him. And he was talking to one of his friends. And I love rolling up on my dad when his friends are there.
Pop up.
Because they ain't got no filter.
Yeah.
His homies don't got no filter. So they just be talking.
Do they like...
They be spilling the beans on young dad. Yeah. They knew him when he was in the 20s.
They know you're there? Like they know?
Oh, they don't care. They ain't got no type of... they don't care.
Okay.
They the worst. I'll never forget. This was the best story. This is when I knew where I got my smooth kind of romantic vibes from.
Okay.
Definitely not from mama. If you meet her, you're like, that's not even her. She don't do that. That's not her deal. It's not. She's very much like hug from here, like with the hand.
Yeah.
Thanks. Have a good day.
Church hugs.
Yeah. 100%. She's like, you're too close. You're not my kids.
Out. Yeah.
She'll like touching people. She's like, thank you.
No,
so I wrote up on him, and he's telling he's like, oh, Solomon, who's this? And he's like, oh, this is my baby girl. And I'm like, hi, I'm his daughter. And we're having that convo, and he's like, oh man, I knew your father in South Africa.
Oh no,
he was the coolest man. He was at the hookah place one time. When his arm was behind the sofa, smoking hookah, and all the ladies on the couch. I said, wow.
Snitching. What was your dad doing? He was like,
he was grabbing his shirt like, oh yeah, I think it's time to go.
This guy is crazy.
My dad was like, he tells crazy stories. I'm like, Yeah. He was in South Africa smoking hookah, Okay.
That's crazy.
He's funny. Like he has a whole photo album it's in this brown leather. It's brown orangey leather. It's very 70s.
He carries it with?
He keeps it at the house, but he keeps it buried away. And I always go to it when I visit.
Yeah.
Because I just try to make sure he hasn't taken any photos and hidden them anywhere.
Yeah.
He's like not ashamed, but he just be looking at it like.
Why do you think there's ever going to be a point where they kind of just like, all right, this is who I am. Let me take off the mask of parent.
Yeah, I don't know. My mom is starting to get close? Like that.
Okay.
My mom is kind of. I mean,
she's over here talking about freezing the eggs. Yeah. I think she the barriers are getting like.
Well, the barriers with my own life, with our lives, like as her kids.
Yeah.
100% there's never been a barrier.
I mean,
she discusses everything.
The guise of like I am mom.
Oh yeah.
This is what I want from you.
Yeah.
For you.
She's always been like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. She just doesn't like the. I'm still working on her opening up about her. Cause I still be asking her, like, to be honest, like.
So you want to know? You're interested in like finding out. Like,
yeah. Well, because their story that's the stuff that movies are made of. Like that's the stuff that music is made out of.
Right.
This is like, I'm a creative, and like we don't just make music, like we make different things and stuff like that inspires
you never know when inspiration's going, like you don't know what direction it's going to hit you in.
I would love to know like every city that he went to in South Africa and Amsterdam and who's this girl you in a picture with from 1979, like what's this about, like I want to know.
Like what years was he in South Africa? Like, was he rolling around with like white women?
Well, in Amsterdam he was.
Yeah.
100%.
He had that phase where let me see what's going on.
Listen, he got photos with her, and I let it rock the first couple years. Bruh, after I went to New York, I think I was like 24, 25 when I asked him, and I was like, all right, Dad, you got to tell me who this girl was. It was like one Christmas, and finally, me and my brothers were downstairs, and he's like, me and her used to date, and my dad has a raspy voice. So it always sounded like he's spitting game.
Yeah.
We his kids, and we're sitting there like that. It's us. But
it's us.
He finally told us. He was like, yeah, that was his girl at the time. And, he got on bell bottoms and the little platform shoes with no shirt on.
This is the 70s.
100%. With the mustache and the fro. And my dad was like a petite guy, so it was just like,
was he in the
you
disco?
look so cool. Yeah, 100%. He's a party dude.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay, the more I learn about him, the more I'm like, oh, a lot of my outgoing personality is from you.
Yeah.
But a lot of like the feminine stuff, all that, 100% my mother.
Yeah.
It's an interesting way though, right? When you think about like the balance between mom and dad.
What you get. I always think it's very interesting, like the counter, like the cross, like gender stuff, I guess. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like the things I get from my mom and the things you get from your dad, and how you can, like, where you think your energy like leans towards, like more masculine or feminine?
I would say more masculine.
Yeah,
I'm definitely like a little pushy, a little bit of a leader, but I'm learning to lend to both sides. There has to be balance, right?
Yeah.
So you can't always be like the first to go. So I'm just learning to like, maybe this time I'll be quiet, and maybe this time I'll just let somebody else lead and support them. Was
that a difficult thing to learn, or what?
It is for sure. Because once you come out of the pride phase of like, I'm not being proud, you know, you learn how to do it.
We haven't even like broke down your whole pride phase. Like I feel like we only got.
I told you about the fight.
We chipped away. We didn't even get to step 1. We just got to.
We can leave that for next time. Yeah.
I mean. So, like you said, once you break down the pride phase, that's when you started learning.
That's when I started learning. Okay, so because pride is a very deceptive animal, because its job is to make you think that it's not you, it's the world, that you are always right. That's basically its job. It feeds off of that.
Yeah.
So once you realize and you recognize what that is, it's your job as a human being to say, all right, I know what that thing is. It's not that it's going to stop showing up in life. It will always show up.
Yeah.
But you got to like let it know when to give it the Heisman, be like, all right, bro,
exactly.
I'm going to put you over here.
It's kind of like a recessive, like evolutionary trait. Like it was, I mean, it was made to protect us in a way. Like,
truth.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there was some good to like knowing, having that confidence in it and knowing who you are. It's survival in a way. Like it gave you, like in your fighting days, it allowed you not to. I'm sure you would have got picked on even more if you didn't fight for yourself. You know what I mean? So like, there are things where pride was helpful for you. You know what I mean? But not like there's also like an inward look. There's a reality thing that needs to go with, that needs to be attached.
Yeah, that's good. That's actually really good. Yeah, and it's like, as you grow, you learn to like critique yourself.
Yeah.
I feel like when you learn how to not overly critique, but critiquing yourself, then there's no room for offense and pride. They'll happen. It's natural.
Yeah.
But you have to resist it. The only way to resist something is to know what it looks like, what it sounds like, what it feels like.
Yeah.
And once it happens, you got to be like, okay, I want to say something because I feel very proud of what I did, and I think I did this. But then the best way to do that, you start thinking about everybody else's perspective.
Yeah.
What does it look like to them?
Yeah.
What does it look like to her, to him, to everybody else in the room?
You get outside yourself.
Yeah. And once you start to do that, you've taken time now to evaluate the situation. Then you calm down. It happens every time I feel that way. And now I'm like, oh, okay. And a lot of those fights, like a lot of fights back then, they started based on insecurity.
Yeah, for sure.
Fighting, to defend myself, yes and no. But it was a lot of insecurity, or what I grew up watching other women and men do in my neighborhood, in my schools. They've defended themselves, quote unquote, but they really didn't need to. It was just insecurity. It's like, if you know who you are, you don't need to fight nothing unless somebody's really coming for you. Yeah.
So do you get offended easily?
Not now.
Not now.
It takes a lot.
How about embarrassed? How about embarrassed?
Oh, I mean, that's life.
How do you take embarrassment?
I laugh. All right, shout out. I do it at work all the time. Like especially when I like misspell things in important work emails. Yeah. And I'll reply, shout out to me for spelling that wrong. So y'all know what I meant, right? So everyone is with it. They roll with it.
You admit first.
Yeah. I feel like when you admit it and you genuinely mean it, and you realize how funny, how silly it is to be upset, then you're like, I'm tripping.
Yeah. I think you're absolutely right. I think like the more you're transparent, the more like you connect in a way. You know what I mean? Like,
that's true.
The more you're relatable to the people you're around and stuff. But I don't know. It's funny how it works that way. So, you think pride is completely out the window now?
Yeah. I mean, honestly speaking, it has the opportunity to show up all the time.
Do you still have to have a little bit of pride though?
A little bit. I feel like there's pride, and then there's just being proud about something. Like I am proud of who I am. I'm proud of where I come from, like the city, the country, the origin. I'm proud of being a woman. I'm proud of being a believer of God. Like I'm proud about a lot of things. But like I feel like there's a separation of the things I'm proud about. And, you know, like as a musician also, like I'm proud of the music I've released, all that stuff. But then there's pride to like get you into fights. Like that's, I guess I just link it to fights. So I try to stay away from it.
It's like a thin line between like helpful and just like detrimental. You know?
That's that part.
Yeah. What are we going to do with our pride, man? I don't...
We should get a box, little baby box, and then put it in there, put a little bow.
I wish we can just like see it coming, see it like approach.
That's interesting.
You know, before it gets there. You know,
like if we have foresight of it.
Yeah, like we can kind of pride is rising up.
Yeah, you know what? I feel like if you're honest with yourself, you'll see it. If you're honest with yourself, like there's some times where I, especially like. In today's setting, in today's world, people say things that they don't realize are offensive all the time. So like there are moments that it rises up and it's like, there it goes again. They try to throw you shade. And then it's like, no. And then if you can straighten it out, like you can straighten it out. And if not, sometimes you don't need to speak on it. And then again, it's that same thing of internalizing and criticizing that thought. It's like, put the critique on that thought. Like, where the hell did you come from? What are you thinking? Like, what is this about?
You start becoming the observer of yourself.
That's really what. Like, that's a talent and a gift to critique stuff. People abuse it. And that's like a hard thing in this world that we live in now.
What do you think the absence of, like, complete pride looks like?
Like a person or just, like, in general?
I'd say, just for you. I mean, you probably speak best for you. What does no pride look like for you? Like, have you ever achieved that? Like, just zero pride whatsoever? Yeah,
in plenty situations. I feel like probably within the last couple of years, probably the past 2 years, I've spent a lot of time reflecting. Then once I turned 30, I was like, all right. We've come a long way, but we can go further. Like, there's still some things that I'm internalizing because if you don't deal with the thought of the pride as it rises, it lives in your heart, and it starts to darken your heart, and it's like little.
Say it if you don't.
So I feel like when pride rises up within you, I feel like it does this thing where it has the capability of just lingering there and lingering there in your heart. And I feel like when pride lingers in your heart, then it becomes this thing in your heart where it's like, this is like that last time. And I feel like one by one in that heart, there's these little black spots and circles that are forming, and they're taking up space that are very negative. And then you start to look at the world. If you've ever looked at some of the homeless people, like, for example, like in downtown LA, if you ever listen to some of the things they say, I wonder how many burdens they have carried in their heart of the things in life that have gone wrong that they're still holding on to. Like there's so many things.
Because at the end of the day, I mean, I think you dig far enough, you know, with the history of a homeless person to how they got there. I don't think money is the issue. I think there's other things going on.
It's true.
And I think what you like is what you were alluding to was like pride might be one of those things.
I think that's a huge part of it. Have you ever tried to give food to a homeless person out here and they've denied it?
I think
they're like, I want the money instead. I'm like, bro, what? Your sign says I'm hungry. I literally walked into 7-Eleven for you, fam. I got you this croissant. You ain't gonna take it? All right, cool.
I've heard stories like that for sure.
I've actually that's happened to me, and I've come to realize like you'll know in your heart who really needs it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a difference, and there's some people out there like they just want it for other things, and I'm not supporting it.
Yeah.
I'm not supporting nobody's drug habits.
Right. And I think that's the main thing for me is just like, I think I don't have the capacity to give them what they need, like what they really need. Because I think at the end of the day, they probably need some rehabilitation that I can't. I'm not a rehabilitator.
It takes time.
Yeah.
It takes time and patience.
Yeah, and it takes a decision from them, too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not...
Yeah, the will.
Exactly. Like, you can't just force somebody to rehabilitate their life. It's like there's a decision that has to be made internally first. Not that my heart doesn't go out to them, you know what I mean? But, like, there's also... reality starts to set in, and then it goes along the line of like just like the outlook of the world and the doom and gloom stuff in a way. It just like the world gets really, and that's why like for me, I have a weird like relationship with like homeless people.
Really? Are you from out here?
Yeah. I grew up in the IE.
Oh, okay. So you from you're from Cali.
Yeah.
You're a native. Okay. Oh, so for you it's different. I'm not used to this.
You're not used to homeless people.
Not to this.
So where'd you grew up in Maryland?
Born in Virginia, grew up in Maryland. Spent my whole life there. I've lived in New York for almost 5 years before I moved here.
Why'd you go to New York?
I had to move out of my mama's house. She's driving me crazy. That was just the answer.
I
went through a really bad breakup. That was before the eggs. But she was asking for rent, and I was like, I'm out. I'm not paying rent to live here with you. You drive me crazy, girl.
If I'm gonna pay rent, I'm gonna have like peace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's more of like the pride that I had to learn on how to give my mother the time to say what she needs to say, but then also knowing when to walk away. Like, all right, Mom,
you gotta protect
yourself
too. Yeah. There's barriers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you learned like how to like put up barriers between you and your parents yet?
That I learned when I moved to New York. When I moved there, they both said I would fail imminently, and I didn't, obviously, but they were expecting me to move back like immediately.
Oh yeah, like you're gonna need us tight. Yeah, you're gonna be back.
Yeah, but I'm the type of person, when my mind is made up and when I've actually invested mentally and physically into something, I don't care what it's looking like, I'm gonna finish. Yeah. And my job was just to leave. And I really wanted to leave because I was sick of my mom, I thought. But honestly, the real deep reason was I just needed to figure out who I was. Because I got out that breakup with that guy I was talking about. And by the time I got to New York, I realized oh my God, I don't know what I want out of this life. Yeah. And I was working with a radio station in D.C. They were able to transfer me to the station in New York. But I had to wait for the interview. And it was...
What were you doing at the radio station?
I worked with the street team / promotions. Okay. So we would go to all the events and hand out free stuff. And go to concerts and stuff. And I used to do this fashion page for them. And I kind of did the same thing in New York for a little bit. But once I got to New York, I started to explore radio for real, being on the radio. And
that's a good place to learn it too, right?
Oh my God. Listen, I learned how to run a board, and
that's hard.
I interned for the late night shows, and that was the first time I thought about DJing. It was just cool to see so many different aspects in the business, and also how easy it can change, you know.
Was in any specific radio station that you was at?
In DC, it was WPGC. Which is one of the most known ones. And in New York, it was 92.3 now. Before that, it was 92.3 K-Rock. So it was everybody's favorite rock station. So when I first got there, people were very unhappy because they were like, you took the rock away.
Oh, yeah. You wasn't fucking with the rock.
When I got there, it became a top 40 pop station. I went with it because I was they don't have an urban station within the CBS wheelhouse. So I was I'm just going to stick it out. Yeah. And I made so many good friends. And then that's when I realized, I'm passionate about this thing. I thought that was going to be it. Obviously, that didn't happen.
You're passionate about what?
Of radio, like being on the radio.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you went... Oh, that's Peach. I was like, what is going on over there?
Oh, you was about to say I didn't get the notification on my Citizen app.
The Citizen app. I swear, I think if Peach downloaded that, she not be well. She would not be
Auntie
well.
Peach.
So you were in New York for 5 years, you said?
Yeah, almost about 5 years.
When was Alabama? Because like I'm just trying to.
Oh, you trying to put this timeline of my life together?
Like,
listen, when you get to 30, you start looking at stuff like, bro, I done lived a little life. You know?
3 decades.
Listen, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Now, let me see. So I was in Alabama for 1 year of college.
Okay.
So literally from 18 to 19. After that fight,
you were getting busy with that fight, yo.
Listen,
but how'd you get that kind of like that amount of? I will not let you live down this fight.
You shouldn't live it down.
This fight,
the kids won't let me live it down. So they were like,
how you acquire that much beef within a year? Like that's like 2 years of beef right there.
Yeah, in a semester.
Dog, in a semester. It was mad shit.
It was a lot. It was a lot of my fault. Actually, at first I wasn't talking trash, but I was ignoring my friends because I found new friends not from my high school.
I think.
So you see what happened?
Yeah,
they started to feel away as they should have because at the end of the day they were I did, and I didn't understand that that's what I did at the moment.
Yeah. But
looking back at it now, I would have felt away too.
Yeah.
So everybody else was right. I was definitely wrong. Admitting
that is actually
in a real whole heart.
That is actually a thing because like like in college, like it's interesting. Like your freshman year, like choosing up who you about to kick it with. Like I don't think that's, you know what I'm saying? Like there's like. You almost gotta kind of like. Did that come natural to you, or did you have to like scope things out and be like, all right, this is my people, this is my village right here?
I honestly didn't know. Like I didn't know. I'd never been away from home. Like my parents didn't even allow me to like sleep over.
Oh
family
yeah, that's some
houses.
African shit.
Yeah, 100%. It's like
nah,
they can come here, and it's like
the same here.
Mom, no one want to come to this house.
Yeah.
This is like jail. Like we ain't allowed to do nothing.
About to do
ain't no doors locked. Yeah, but to go to sleep. That's what you gonna have us doing. But I think it was like my mind was just very like open to interpretation, and I remember like just going to class and making friends, and it felt like being in kindergarten all over. Yeah. Like just learning how to do that because you in high school, you got a set group of friends for them 4 years, low key. Yeah. So in college, and then on top of that, my friends that I came from my high school, it was only 2 other girls, and they were the only 2 other people from my state that I knew.
Damn.
Everybody else from Alabama State, from Brooklyn, New York, from like Philly, from Detroit, from Los Angeles, from the Bay. From Houston, I made friends from everywhere. New Orleans, St. Louis.
It was just like a crock pot.
And it was new for me. So many accents. Like I knew New Yorkers. I'm like, I'm from DC. Like I'm like, I know New Yorkers. I know people from Jersey.
Yeah.
But the other stuff, like, meeting people from New Orleans, like knowing that it's not New Orleans, it's like New Orleans, like that. Yeah. Like I can't even say it as good as they say. Like, hey baby, how you doing, baby?
It's
you
crazy.
Going to class, baby? And I'm like, oh my god, what is this? I'm like, this is great. I love these accents. So it was also like, it was a lot of different things happening. I was finally understanding that I was attractive to some extent because I was.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I never caught that. Obviously now I'm aware. But like back then, because I never had nobody asked me to prom, really. Like nobody really ever tried to date me. Like I was never on anybody's list, to my knowledge. If I was,
they didn't holler.
Nobody ever said anything for sure.
They didn't
and thanks for not saying anything. It probably was better that way.
Oh man.
But I had so I had no ego. So when I got to college, every guy I met was like, "You're so cool and down to earth." I'm like, "Yeah, because we're friends, right?" Meanwhile, they trying to date me, and I'm like, "Oh."
You threw him right in the friend zone because that's all you knew.
That's all I knew. Damn. It wasn't like intentional. Now it's like whatever. It's different, but Listen, it was crazy.
Yeah.
That was a crazy dynamic. That was a crazy world. It was literally so many different people.
Yeah, I think it's so crazy in college because, like, okay, so high school, you making friends, it's still pretty natural because you're still
local.
Yeah, you're very young
crib.
still. Like, you're very, like, impressionable. You still have, what are you, like, 12, 13 going in the high school? Like, you're still very you're still tied to your youth. Like, you're still, your foundation is still in your youth. But, like, you get to college, it's, like, just a little bit more apparent that, like, it's weird to, like, grow a community. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a little bit more in your face that, like, everyone has these differences.
Yeah.
And so, like, it's actually a reach to, like, it's actually work to grow a community and like, grow your circle in a way. And so, like, you get there and I don't know, that was just my experience. So it was just like, oh shit, like, who am I gonna kick it with?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You don't even know what that's like, and you won't know until you talk to people.
Yeah.
It was a shock for me, and, like, all I did was, like, I just talked to the people in my class, and then as you go in and out of your dorm, and you know, you're in the common space, like, you just start talking to people because you're a freshman. Yeah. And most of the people in my dorm, thankfully, were freshmen, so we all were eager to make friends.
You were a talker, like, you were a social.
Not at first,
yeah.
But there was one common denominator that created a lot of friendships with me, and that was weed. So when I found out,
why were you hesitant to say that?
No, I'm just like, I mean, it's not my life now, but I'm just saying, like, okay. I was trying to be dramatic, it didn't work. But, like, anybody I found that had weed, I was like, whoever got the bag, we are friends.
He's blown big smoke.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Smoked out in the car.
Yeah.
That's when I found out about weed from different regions. I was like, ooh, this is LA weed. Oh, okay, this is different.
Oh, you was a connoisseur. You almost got into connoisseur stage. Yeah.
Oh my God! I always kept the bag in my room. I kept it like a Ziploc bag. 100%. I had good friends. I had good friends that they always kept. And to be honest,
friends. Huh?
Yeah, and I don't even know where they are now. They were like guys that I knew that were students, but I'm like, are you a drug dealer or a student? I'm confused.
Man, they had a part-time jobs.
Yeah, I wasn't mad at it, but there's like a handful of people from that phase of life that I still talk to.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I think the last, like, good friends, lifetime friends, I mean, was in college. No, I take that back. I take that back for sure.
In adult life, it changes. And then when you leave college, it's another new world.
Yeah, like, so that's what I'm saying. It's just like, I'm saying, like, it's just so hard to, I think it's so hard to come by now. And I have experienced it for sure. But, like, I think it's harder to come to that realization now because, like, by this age, you're kind of, like, bruised and beaten by life and betrayal and just, like, situations where you're just like, oh, I thought it was going to go this way and it went this way. And, you know, you get a great sense of human nature by this age. So, like you were saying with, like, pride, like, stuff like that builds up in the heart too. You know what I mean? And so, like, you start having to work through a lot of scar tissue. Yeah. To, like, get to the core of somebody and be like, oh, this is like a lifetime person. But I think, like in my life, like, I think from this past 2 years, I think I'm getting back to, like, intentionally getting back to, like, oh, okay, I can open up to what? I just lost my train of thought. Getting back to what's going on?
I couldn't lock the top lock. I got it. Sorry. She was waiting outside the door because she thought you guys weren't going to.
What?
She was literally standing at the door.
No way.
No, you're good.
Sorry.
It's all good. I was like, what is going on, yo?
I love the paranoia in James. Oh my God, it's like,
But yeah, what were we saying? What did you feel like saying now?
I mean, you were talking about like your last good friends, and them being from college, and they were like, well, actually, and that's where you kind of paused because I think you were trying to think about the friends outside of it, because we were talking about the separation of like, there's like the friends you made during college, but then the friends you make in real life, that's a different thing, because that's when you've applied real life. Yeah, like
it's kind of like you're discerning.
Mm-hmm.
You're a little bit more discerning, like like it's a purposeful, like, I fuck with you because of this. Mm-hmm. And it's almost like, also, like, what's not talked about is, like, you know the extent of how far you fuck with somebody.
Listen.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, listen, I probably will not go to jail for you, but, like, listen, if you need me to pick you up from somewhere on the side of the street at some point, I got you.
And there's some people I've met after college that I'm like, I will do anything for you. Yeah. Because I just know, I know you. Yeah. I know you. Even people I've probably met since I moved here. Yeah. That I'm like I have a homegirl. She'll probably see this at some point. Her name is Maya. Yeah. One of the most ride-or-die people I've ever known in my life. Yeah. And she used to always want to be like so cool and tight in the beginning. She's like, you're so cool. And she's a little bit younger than me, but I was just like, what? And I was so distant. Yeah. And then when I realized, I was like, you're just genuinely a good person. Yeah. But you also, like, you're from the East Coast, so I kind of understand some of your ways. But then there's also, like, some parts of you that make me want to be better. Yeah. And those are the things, to me, that, like, make up a real friendship. Mm-hmm. You make me just want to be a better person and do better in life and be happy for myself. You make me want to do that for me. Yeah. And that's a crazy byproduct to have from a friendship. So since then, I'm like, oh, that's it. I'll do anything. I'll fight anybody for you. Like, even though I shouldn't be fighting. Clarify that. I think
at this point, like, if you gonna fight,
the gloves should be up.
At this point, like, if you gonna fight, like, you gotta, like,
I gotta get second class.
Exactly. Like,
I got some free points on my job at like little classes.
I think you should be a seasoned vet fighter. Like, you should know, like, how to.
Yeah, I should. We'll work on that.
I wouldn't fight you, obviously, but like, I'd not even on some, like, you know. Mm-hmm. I'd be afraid of your left hook.
Really? Interesting. I feel that's a little takeaway.
Yeah. Do you think it's possible for us to have like relationships with people that we don't need anything from? Meaning like you just described your friend that you got positive things from, you know what I mean? Like, but do you think that can exist where you weren't getting anything in return?
Mm-mm. It has to be both ways. Mm-hmm. Me, I should be able to, it should be a flow of giving and receiving. Like, I should be able to give you things and you should be able to receive it, and vice versa. You should be able to give me things and I should be able to receive it. Mm-hmm. Like, it should be this constant flow. It should be its own ecosystem, low-key.
It's like communal.
Yeah, it should just be always going in this circular motion. Like, that is to me the growth. And that's over time. Like, I'm now 33, going on 34 this year. Whoop, whoop. Mm-hmm. In that, I always think about who is still with me. And it's nothing bad against who isn't talking to me every day still. And to be honest, even people that I know here, I don't talk to them every day. I don't really talk to nobody but God every day. That's it, to be honest.
As much as we are connected technologically, I think that's how it's supposed to be. Like, it just shows more and more that we only have the capacity for like maybe one other person.
Yeah, that's so true. That's so true. But now I'm learning to check in with the
Yeah.
people I do still care about. Not that I
Right.
can't.
Yeah.
Not that they're not my friends anymore, but it's like
Yeah.
I have friends from
You
back
gotta
home
tap in, like,
that
you
I
gotta-
admire. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I just have lots of people that I know that I'm like, oh, look at you, you're a mom now, or you're like,
Yeah.
you got this podcast, or you finally made it on air. You know,
Yeah.
like there's so many things happening. I have friends that are in film and music and
Yeah.
so many crazy things, and it's like I check in every once in a while just to say like I remember when we started talking about this thing.
Yeah.
And I'm proud of you, or I'm happy for you, and then I get it back, or maybe I don't. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. I just like to check in because sometimes like you never know, somebody might need to work. Because sometimes a friend will like say, "Yeah, this is cool, but like, can I call you?" Like I've had people reach out to me like, "Can you pray with me real quick?" Or "Can you talk this situation out with me? I'm going through something." You never know because social media also prepares this framework of what you think is going on.
Oh yeah, it's all. It's not real. It's
It can
It's
be.
a fantasy world.
Yeah, it can be, but it's like it can either be framework for a non-existing life, or it can be an abbreviation of the real life, meaning you're only seeing the highlights. You know, like kind of like ESPN Sports Center, like you're seeing the Sports Center highlights, from the games.
Yeah, it's a
but
highlight.
you didn't know
reels
what happened to the
like,
game. Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of crazy.
Yeah. But like the actual stuff is not, because I think like with like social media and all that, like in a way, whatever we post on there, it's meant to be compelling. In our head, it's compelling. Like someone is going, like it's performance art in a way. You know what I'm saying? So like,
That's so true.
like that, I guess that's why it lends itself to like just the highlight reels. You know what I'm saying? Because like I don't think every aspect that some people think every aspect of their life is, you know, this is good content to yeah, it's a little strange. But like, it is.
At first when I discovered Instagram, I was like that.
And I think everybody like learns etiquette.
Yeah.
I got a friend now that's like just started their whole joint. Probably like late last year. And it's so funny. It's like this guy he's never been to prison, but he might as well just got out of jail, bro. like trying to get him up to speed on like, yo, this is a story on Instagram, yo. Like this is what a DM is. It's crazy. Like we are grown.
Yeah, but some people, that's not the avenue that is meant for like their purpose in life.
Absolutely.
So it doesn't necessarily, and I know like some people might think that that's foreign, but it's really not.
Yeah.
Like I know for what I am meant to do in life, it is a part of it. So I have learned to manage like the posts that I post are related to what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
The stories are for the fun.
Yeah.
Because they're only up there for like a day.
Yeah.
So it gets to be
hours.
fun. Yeah. So I like to make it artistic and sometimes silly and sometimes highlight a homie or whatever it is, but I utilize those things for like what they are.
Yeah.
And Facebook is good for like the people from high school and the few people from college that I still have a connection with somehow.
Yeah.
You know, like those type of things. So it's like, all right, well, at what point do we have like too much of it? Like sometimes technology can be scary. Like I just listened to that I don't know if I got to mention it, but while we were walking in, that Travis Scott like artificial intelligence song that creative agency made. So there's this. It's called they're called Space 150, and it's some creative agency. I'm pretty sure that they're here in LA, and they created a song that sounds like something that Travis Scott would make, and it's all created by a computer. They fed a computer what Travis Scott sounds like and his typical ad libs.
Oh yeah, they got the
and they fed him. They
got the singularity popping.
Yeah,
yo.
It's crazy, but the track sounds fire. I had it on repeat.
Yeah,
I was like, this actually sounds kind of cool.
Yeah.
But it's scary because it's like they know me too much. Like, is this like iRobot life? Like,
no, they got us already. Yo.
I think I don't want to be a pod person.
You don't want to be a what?
I don't want to be a pod person.
What does that mean?
Pod person, like the old school like movies from like back in the day of like aliens coming on the planet and kidnapping us and making a pod version of me, meaning like a clone.
Like a clone.
Yeah, but it's like an alien.
I think that's where.
But I come out of a pod.
I don't think aliens would even have to do that. Like, I think
they would just come through.
No, I think the way we are, like the way our brains work as humans is that's where it's going. Like, we're gonna do it to ourselves. Everyone's like fascinated or like infatuated with like living forever, and so like I think we're constantly trying to find the technology to have us do that. You know, we're constantly looking for like some cosmetic cream or like some shots or something to have us stop the process of aging. And even like when we were talking about offspring, I think that's a way of being like, I want to live forever through my seed. You know what I'm saying? Like there's just we don't want to die. That I think that's why it's such a death is such a weird thing for human beings. It's just like,
do you remember that song on 444?
What
Jay-Z, legacy. Like he's obsessed with in the beginning it's blue and she's like, mommy, what's a will? I'm like, this is real. So that's what it goes back to. That it's like what you're saying aligns like low-key with the beginning of the combo. Like, it is legacy. That's the purpose of like, that's why like you can't parent your child after a certain age. Because they gotta focus on their own.
They got their own.
And then they continue with it because at some point everybody dies.
What is have you started working on your legacy? Like, is that something you're conscious of?
Like, music wise, creative wise, yes. I try to keep track of all like the really wonderful moments of life, and the little successes, the small little points that I've had at this point. And beyond that, honestly, now it's like, okay, great. Like, what are the other things that I'm good at that can change the world and give people a beautiful perspective of my vision? Like, I see different things, and I know like the way I see colors and the way I see like perspectives and like even like in film and music, like there's so many things that I still want to explore. How much of that can I start incorporating into like, what I do? So kind of.
It's interesting that like that like it what you're describing is for others, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think I've come across anyone that has been like, my legacy is kind of like for me. Like, the reason why I'm here is for my sole purpose. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think so for some reason, just like as much as we want to have a legacy, we also know that it's not for us in a way. You know what I'm saying?
You're gonna die.
You're
gonna die. You gotta like do what you can. That's why people tell you don't wait, don't waste time, because time is going. My mom always says that time is going. And I always thought like that was improper English, because I'm like, time is going. It is going though. It's going forward.
It's poetic.
That's all she was missing was the word forward. So we have to like.
I mean, it can be going sideways too.
Truth. It could be that. It could be going backwards. It could be going a lot of. But if in real life,
it's still moving.
It's still moving. And you have to figure it out. Like, why are you on this planet? And nobody was made to be like, a blob of nothing. Nobody. Everybody has a purpose. But it's up to you to figure that out. God can't, lead everybody there. It's an option. It's free will. You have, in general, just to go figure out what that thing is. And it's supposed to benefit other people. It could be on a small capacity locally. It could be, worldwide. It depends on what you find your thing is. Like, you might be meant to be a politician. Like if you think about like I was telling you, I love the Joe Budden podcast. I'm a huge fan of Joe Budden's podcast.
So am I.
And a lot of women are surprised by that. one, I just love listening to a room of men talk with no woman in the room because they say some of the craziest and the funniest things in the world.
Why are you drawn to that?
They're just funny. They're funny, and they know that they're not accurately getting news all the time, and sometimes their opinions are interesting because it's the things that I know men are probably thinking. Yeah. In a sense of dating, and I have brothers, just like understanding the things that they face now as men, and it's two black guys and it's two white guys. So it's also that perspective of how they respect each other in that way.
I'm sorry.
It's interesting to me, but he is interesting to me so much. Like, I love the fact that he changed his career. Oh, yeah. Like, everyone put him as Pump It Up guy, and it's like, nah, he full-fledged has a whole different career now. Yeah. But because he utilized something he's good at. He's great at, he is somebody, naturally you want to listen to his voice. Because even if you don't like him, you want to hear what he has to say. Because he's very opinionated. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times, though, he has a very well put together opinion, and it's like, I want to hear the rest of this. I need to know where he's been on ESPN before, CNN, MSNBC. Like, I've seen him on different things, but now he has the podcast, and he's had the podcast for a long time before they got the Spotify deal, before they were making money. Yeah, they weren't, and it's like there's something to be said about. I'm good at rapping, right? And he still could probably come back and do some great things, but he decided in his mind, I can talk about things with my friends on a podcast and probably do something different. And maybe that would change the course of my life. And I have to be consistent. And he stayed consistent. Yeah. Got a Spotify deal. Got, 3 other homies to get in on that may or may not have had that kind of life. Yeah. That have been in the music industry. But they also give a lot of insight about musicians. They talk about things like, things that involve us indie artists. Like publishing deals and it's pretty educational, how to keep money to ourselves. And Chance has been on there talking about that stuff, but beyond what we know. Like, I like that stuff. Yeah. And with all that being said, I'm like, there's something to be honored about somebody that can just change their career and be successful still.
Is that a goal for yourself too?
Yeah. Not to box myself in.
Yeah.
Like, to leave it open. Like, I am not just a singer, but I can be a creative director.
We are complex human beings. Like, it's crazy. In my head, it's crazy to think of doing one thing for the rest of your life. It's nuts. Yeah. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, I'll be thinking, like, I'll be driving to work, and I'm just like, I'd be so ashamed if I died here.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd be at my, like, some just like came through, just wiped us out. I'd be so ashamed that this was like my only way of living. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, there's just so much more to do. You know what I mean? How do you? What's the latest thing you learned about yourself?
That's a good question. The latest thing I learned about myself, that I don't fully know what my assignment in life is. I thought I knew all of it. I have an idea, and I've always had an idea, but I've been so focused on music that I think I have allowed that to overshadow other things that I love to do. Yeah. Not that I will ever leave music alone, because I won't.
No, it's a party.
That's it. It's over. Yeah. But there are some things in me that I've been realizing as of recently that I'm like, why have we not spent more time thinking about creating this business or creatively directing more of my own things? Why have we not done that? And it's like, this year, well, let's just make a point to do it a little bit more. Yeah. Not to stop anything else, but let's just do that a little bit more.
Let's dive into this little thing over here, this pool.
Yeah, because I have things that I see and I want and I crave. And, the best way to know what your purpose is in life is to look at the things that make you truly frustrated. Yeah. The things in the world, when you look around, like when you're critiquing them, like, that would be so much better if they did this. And that's the best hint to know what direction you're meant to be in. Because problems usually are supposed to push you into what you are meant to be.
Yeah. I think there's an aspect of that. of like, because that's where you find your passion, what you're passionate about and stuff. But and I think like the things that you would be able to like bend over backwards for, just to make just to like make happen in a way, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm saying that right, but like for example, I'm not gonna bust my ass for work. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't believe in what I'm doing there. You know what I'm saying? Like, but for example, like something like this, you know, being able to connect with people and just talk and have like open conversations with people is something I would do even when I'm not really, when I don't even feel like doing it. You know what I mean? Like, and I think tapping into shit like that where where it's almost like you're compelled to do something. You know what I'm saying? I think that's where purpose lies too. You know what I'm saying? Like they live in that same house. You know? Apart from you, why do you think we're all here?
I think we're all here to serve a purpose somewhere in God's will. That might not be something that everybody agrees with, but I mean that's why I believe everybody's here, to serve a purpose in His will. And
like a higher. There's a higher purpose from ourselves.
Yeah, and I mean, people make it seem like it's some crazy, convoluted, you know, huge purpose. To be honest, sometimes you are a local hero. Yeah, sometimes you're like the teacher that made the school better. Yeah, that became the principal. But that might seem like a nothing to someone else, but that's a big deal. You made a difference for a community. That's, you know, again, back to like, people are supposed to help other people. Yeah, everybody might not be down to take that help, but that ain't for you to worry about. Who needs it and who comes for it? You know, it's a 50-50. You take the help and you figure it out.
Yeah. Do you think what if it doesn't mean anything though? Like, you ever thought about that? Like what if like all the things that we do here stop with us?
Well, are you saying what if there was no legacy? What if it all ended with us?
Yeah, like as a people, like
kind of like if a meteor hit this planet right now.
Coronavirus just wiped everybody out, just spread, and everybody caught that shit, and it was just like the end of the world as we know it.
I would just, in those final moments, I would just think I did my best.
I did, yeah.
I did my best.
I did what I could, man.
I reached for the stars. Here we are with young Corona. That's a crazy virus. I hope they really get that under control.
They need to do something, though.
They really are. I hate when this stuff happens because it's like when the bird flu came.
Yeah.
And I feel like the world makes it. Because some of it
they gas it a little bit too.
And I'm like, stop it.
They gas it though.
Y'all know people freak out.
Well, I mean, the thing is like with news is like it's entertainment. They got to get it checked somehow.
That's so true.
They like it's not for our benefit. It's like they gotta like they gotta pay the bills. They gotta pay the bills. How do you think they're gonna pay the bills? They're gonna give you all the facts that make us return back to like the headline, like, yo, what was the update?
That's so true.
You know what I mean? Like,
but like also like, well, how has no one figured out like the like vaccine, or like why don't we have it? Or I guess it's I
don't even know how we have vaccines. Like, I'm not smart enough to like it's crazy how like we have like lights. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of shit like I can't even comprehend how we have, but it's just like, I see. Yeah.
It is crazy when you think about, like, you don't realize it till, I'll never forget the first time I went to Africa. Yeah. And, at that time, you know, things weren't that developed. This is like, like, I don't know, 99, 2000. Yeah. And that was my first time being somewhere where electricity was not not available. The sun goes down, we all go to bed.
Yeah.
It wasn't like we about to be at bro. Good night.
That's such a simple life, man.
It is. And I at first was so frustrated.
Yeah.
That first time we went, we stayed for 3 months in my mother's country in Asmara. And I was just like, after the first week, you would have thought I was one of the kids from the neighborhood. Dusty knees, muddy shoes,
you settled in.
Hair looking crazy. I looked like one of the kids from the
neighborhood. It was natural because you went back to your natural state in a way, you know,
having fun, playing tea, playing soccer, going to like see what the grown-ups is doing. Just like being a kid. It's great.
That is great.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I do without it, without like all this stuff. I don't think we need everything that we have.
Not everything. I think it's good to like, sometimes for the first hour, like on a Saturday morning, before I get into doing things, unless I wake up late and I gotta go do something, I try not to get on my phone.
Oh yeah, that's important.
Like whether it's reading the Bible, whether it's going on YouTube and laughing at some videos or watching Joe Budden's podcast, like whatever it is, I just try not to get on my phone to communicate to people and get on Instagram. Like I'll do things like just watch things that like stimulate my mind or watch some documentary or something different or something silly. I don't know. It depends on what kind of mood I'm in. But
how do you find yourself like? What kind of mediums do you use to tap in with yourself?
Like
if you were gonna go, where do you find yourself like thinking about like evaluating yourself the most? Like where do you find yourself doing that the most? Or how do you, if you were trying to intentionally do that, what would you be doing?
It usually happens in the morning when I first wake up, and I usually try to reflect and meditate a little bit on whatever I want to pray about. And then I kind of go into prayer and thankfulness and thank you God for this day and
gratitude.
I appreciate being awake and that I can see the sun and that I can feel things and I can smell the world and just I appreciate having these senses. Yeah. And I kind of just proclaim and declare what I want the day to be. Like today's going to be a good day. We're going to go do some things and we're going to go to the job and we're going to do some other stuff after work for myself. Let's just make sure we do them, right? And it's kind of like a pep talk. It's a prayer, but it's also a pep talk to myself. Yeah. Like to own up to that.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you, what is something you found gratitude in, like recently that you didn't realize before?
My parents.
Really?
Yeah.
How soon?
I've been spending a lot of time with our youth group at our church. I help out with like the social media and stuff. Oh, okay. So I go to like their events to get videos and photos, and they had this past Friday for Valentine's Day, we got together and we just talked about passing things down. But it's 2 weeks before that was the one that really got me. They were talking about maturity and honoring your parents. And it was interesting because this room is like kids anywhere from like 13 and all the way up to like 22, 23. So it's an interesting group because they experience a lot of the same things. And a lot of the kids in the room were sharing things that their parents do that hurt them, don't hurt them. And the overall subject matter was like honoring your parents. And at the end of the conversation, the leaders of the group ended with something that I forget about. And it's the idea of I am the solution. I am the solution to a lot of things in my family. So if you think about any arguments, any beefs, anything like that, if you always think about your position,
did you grow up being the fixer of like
a little bit,
if the peace maintainer in your family?
I attempted to be that person, but unfortunately I had insecurities at the time, so I was not so successful.
You actually made it like intentionally like try to keep the peace in your family.
Yeah.
But
sometimes I would be part of the problem. So now reflecting, and especially after going to that session with with the youth, I was like looking back at my parents, and it made me think like, I forget, and I gotta keep giving them credit, because I look at my birth certificate. My mom was 24 when she had me. Yeah. My dad was like only a few years older than that. Yeah. What did they know about parenting? Why do we put so much pressure on parents in general? Yeah. They don't. They are doing their best. Yeah. They don't know sometimes. Yeah. Sometimes they get angry. Sometimes they have a badass day, and they come home and you hungry. Like, so
you got mouths to feed.
Yeah. So now I'm like, I think that's why I'm so excited about this trip to Ethiopia, to see my dad in his natural environment, which is home, and to just tell him like, I really do appreciate what you did. Yeah. Even in like a lot of the things that you did that I and my brothers, like, we kind of went through as a family struggle, because we just couldn't communicate. We couldn't get on the same wavelength. We were talking two different languages. But now I'm like, oh, wait, you just was like trying to figure out how to parent us. Yeah. And there's no shame in that. There's honor in the fact that you kept us. Yeah. You didn't throw us away. You didn't give us to nobody. You didn't drop us off. You didn't kill us. Like, you could have, because we was crazy. Like, you think about all the things, and it's like, no, they stuck with us. They said, no, we're going to grow these kids up to the best of our ability to be good people, to help this world be better. Yeah. And they succeeded in that. They did their best, for sure. And look at like the things I'm thinking about now. I'm like, you did great. Yeah. I'm a good person. I think it's important. People, and I'm like, man.
It's important to like let them know that too. Like, because being a parent is kind of like a thankless job. You know what I'm saying?
Bruh. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like every once in a while you can use that reassurance that like, yo, you do. And you know what I learned recently was like, I was listening to this like this podcast on like psychology and stuff, and it was just like. Just like they were talking about like how usually like around this time in our lives there's a lot of like friction between us as the growing adults or the young adult or the recent adult with their parent. You know, and so like, even now, like I'd say for me, it's like at my age, you know, I'm pretty evolved person. You know what I mean? Like we're pretty evolved people, but then in a way we're getting stronger, like mentally, maybe not so much physically, but like. We are getting to a place where we can make people see that we are fully formed adults and stuff. And in a way, it's a show of strength. It's like we're capable in the world. Yeah. Then you have our parents that are like, you know, they're getting older. You know, they've lived that. They've had to prove that they've been strong even throughout our lives. Like even your dad not wanting to take off the mask of like who he was before you were born is a display of like, no, I gotta be this person. Yeah, I gotta show my cornerstone of who I am to my seed before I am a person. But now as they get older, like now for you, even, you know, you trying to find out stories, like their growth is in vulnerability. Like there's like an opposite. it's like a vice versa of how we are growing as people. Like we're growing into stronger adults. They're growing into more vulnerable humans. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And so like there's like a friction that happens in between there sometimes. You know, like we're trying to prove like, hey, we're strong, and they're having a hard time accepting that, and then also accepting that they're not as strong as what they used to be.
You getting it? I see you with the snaps. Okay,
that's not even what I'm going for. I'm just like it's just like it's just like, I don't know. At the end of the day, it's just empathy. It's able to see. Yeah. It's able to like see where people are coming from, where, especially our parents who we love dearly, you know what I mean? Like, but also seeing where their pain is, you know what I'm saying? And going the best way about like handling that. Because it's not easy. Like we can definitely fumble how our parents' feelings are. You know what I'm saying? Like your dad can like just divulge all the information that you want to know, and you just be like, you can like sit there and not be able to even like process it correctly without like judging him at that instant.
That's so true.
You know what I'm saying? So like sometimes it takes like seeing them as a person with no judgment too, just like anybody else. You know? But I don't know. How you
deep.
Yeah.
That's good. I mean, that's a deep thing, and I feel like they gotta know. You did good, man.
Yeah, like there's you need.
And I tried to do it in little ways and in big ways. Yeah. Whether it's through money or telling them that.
And it just goes
or bragging to other people, friends of mine, like, you know, when I tell them about my parents. Yeah. Or like even like lately, like I've been cooking, you know, cultural food for all my different friends, and one of my friends, she actually taped it. And I sent the video to my mom, and she's like, "Is that you? I can't believe it." And I was like, "You showed me that.
Yeah, you did that.
Look at that. Look at how inviting this has been now, that other people like not of our culture, that want to know how to make it, and they're making it. Yeah, like I show them how to make it. Now they like low key got a little 10% Ethiopian in them, so it's kind of cool. And I'm like, "Mom, you did that. Yeah, and you might have thought that you didn't do enough, but you did what you could with what you had, and that's a lot. You gave more of yourself.
That can make a person
to us than you giving to yourself.
Yeah, that's
very selfless.
True. Yeah, that can make a whole person's life. You know what I mean? They can feel like that's all I need to do. And we kind of harbor that shit. Sometimes just because we awesome like.
Nah, I used to beef with them. Yeah. I used to beef with them heavy about it. And now, like, I can't apologize about that enough. And I still do. Like, I'm sorry if I was, like, a jerk. I'm sorry.
Well, you was all a jerk, though.
Yeah. But now I'm, like, more sorry about it because I think about it. And I'm like, you had a lot of pressure. Yeah. You came up during the technology phase. Yeah. Like, you as parents, like, had to deal with... I mean, it's crazy what parents have to deal with now because I'm like, everything's too open and too, like.
I don't know. It might be. I don't know. We'll see how it comes out.
I don't know. It's like too provocative. Yeah. Remember, like everything used to be like all the crazy stuff would come on at a certain time. Yeah. Now it's crazy stuff all the time, and on the radio.
You have instant
and in the
access
music.
I mean, I think that's something. Yeah. It could be a downside, but I think we only see it that way because we knew what it was like before. Yeah. But also like I there's something to be said about innocence. You don't, innocence will not stay around too long because we grow, right? We grow and we're just too aware of things. Yeah. But there's something to be said about a child being a child. Yeah. To a certain extent. Yeah. And allowing them to learn the world without being delved into being 30. Yeah. You know? Yeah. Because once they turn, you know, the age of going into school, that's it. It's over. Yeah, now other opinions are part of this conversation. They're out in the world. Yeah. That's the real world right there. Because you got like a hodgepodge of like just all other
backgrounds
and values,
ethnicities,
and,
or religions.
Yeah, it can be detrimental.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a lot, man.
Yeah.
It is a lot.
Yeah, our parents did good, man.
They did. They did a great job.
Things.
They did the best that they could with what they had. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I can't be mad at them.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to say. Forget it. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good.
Can I ask you one more question?
Yeah, for sure.
What's something the world doesn't know about you but should?
You said what's something the world doesn't know about me for shit?
No, but
that's what I heard. I was like, maybe.
I mumble. I need to get more. I've never learned how to enunciate.
Okay, now you're good.
What's something the world doesn't know about you but should?
Oh, I'm trying to think. What do I keep to myself? But that's something that they should. I have actually, this is something that I really don't put out there like that.
Yeah.
I have a deep desire to help young women, specifically young Black women, but I am open to it being all young women. I made enough mistakes from specifically 18 to about 30. It's like it's a good enough timeline to give advice on life.
We heard about some of it.
Listen, I heard some things. I done been through some things.
Yeah.
I would just love to spend more time, and I kind of working on it because I do have friends that I call them my friends, and they're a lot younger than me. They're in that age range, but they call me. We hang out. I go to a birthday. I like to be a part of their life because I feel like there are some gaps that I wish my mom would have filled out instead of my friends. Mm-hmm. So I feel like I'm an in-between. So I like to call it the auntie crew, based on, shout out to Kanye. So many aunties, we had an auntie team. And it's that idea of, your mom, you're too afraid to tell her everything because, you either get a whooping, or she'll lock you in your room or whatever is the, judgment in that house.
She got parent mask on.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. She has parent mask on. And then you can't tell grandma. Grandma, only has a certain extent.
Too far removed. She already knows how the world is supposed to look.
Mm-hmm. She's super old school, so she might be low key more worser. Worser, that's not a word. She might be worse than worser. Hey. But she may be worse than talking to your mom. So I like to think of it as I am your auntie. So I always joke with them tell Auntie B what's going on. And I always joke with them come on, little niecey. I like the idea of them thinking of me that way because your auntie, you give respect, but you also trust what auntie says about life because auntie has experienced some things. Yeah. And auntie's not going to tell mom because auntie wants to be there for you because she knows that you won't tell her everything, but she wants to make sure you're still taken care of because you're still, to an extent, a responsibility to her, And I feel like I've always felt like this responsibility for younger women to help them, but I never really felt like I was at that point yet. And at this point now, I'm to mentor and to just talk to them, to straighten out their thoughts, to let them know, you don't have to live with this guy yet, No one's forcing you to, rush to having a baby yet. No one is, these things don't have to happen right now.
Yeah.
Separate your emotions from what you want in life. They're two separate things.
Yeah.
And a lot of that is because this world and Instagram and so many things that when I talk to them, I realize and I'm this is my thing. This is one of many things I'm meant to do in this life.
Something stirs up in you.
Yeah, because I get mad when I see young women that talk crazy to people or are disrespectful to older people.
Yeah,
that makes me mad.
Yeah.
And I'm I'm only 33 and I'm looking at you man, watch yourself.
Yeah.
Don't be disrespectful. There's a life that those people have lived that you don't know about.
Exactly.
Be more thoughtful. Be more patient. Those are the things I feel that's why I say specifically Black women, because we're taught to be so defensive and protective of ourselves. But sometimes it is unnecessary. A lot of times, honestly, it's unnecessary. You can protect yourself without being defensive. You know, like you can protect who you are. You don't have to be so defensive to where you're like ready to fight everybody.
Yeah.
It goes back to that, and I don't want more young women to try to do what I was trying to do. 'Cause I had no type of aim in life and in that fight, like just swinging and a missing. Just maybe it's this, maybe it's that.
It's a lesson on anger. Like it's anger is a I've been doing a lot of thinking about it recently too. It's like anger, violence is a reaction to anger. Like anger in itself is not harmful in a way. It's like it's an indicator, I feel like.
Yeah.
But I feel like sometimes we're so, and you know, us men, we're usually the most guilty for this. It's like we associate anger with like an action that results into like violence or like an abrupt change, you know, in the environment, like an abrupt change that usually isn't, you know, conducive to everyone else or everyone else around you. And it doesn't have to be like, sometimes, like, I just wish we all could like sit in anger a little bit longer.
Once you sit, you already start to calm down. That's really it. Just take a minute.
Like listen to anger. Like what direction does it? Is it leading? And just you know, use your brain. It
kills a lot of dreams, man.
It does.
I watch it kill dreams. I watch it kill self-esteem. I just watch it, and it's like it's this sense of no, I know better. I know what I'm doing. No, you don't. But I'm also not going to tell you how to live this life, because there are some things you just have to experience. And then some people just have to learn the lesson. Some people don't need to learn the lesson. They got it. But some people have to learn the lesson. And it's not because they actually have to learn it. It's because they refuse to listen. So I've also come to the point where I'm like, there are some people that I try to give advice and I'm like, nah, I'm going to back up, because you have the option to take it. And then when this thing fails and turns the way that it's going to turn, because I'm telling you, I've experienced it. I've told you, I've moved in with someone and I fell into the dream of what I thought it was going to be, but it was unnecessary. We didn't need to do that. We didn't need to we almost ended up having a child before the time that I should have had a kid. And then I ended up having a procedure done to eliminate a situation that I didn't really want to do at that time. And I mean, from then to now, I've come to peace with what happened. But it's one of those things like that could have been prevented if I would have just waited. Because the stem of all of that was my pride of my mom not allowing us to be together. That was really it. But I just took it to another level. When you start digging, it's like I moved out because I wanted to have my own place. But I didn't have the money for the down payment, so I took my boyfriend's money to help me with the down payment. So he figured he should just move in, and I just went with it. And then as we were together so much, things like that happen. And you're not ready for that because you're not ready to be married.
You thought you was grown before you was grown. You know,
a lot of these girls out here, I just be like, girls, like, unless you ready, I'm ready. You know, I got it all set up. Why do you want that life? Why do you want the life of having a child and not knowing if he's going to be there when you wake up? That's crazy. I don't want to do... I know moms that are single. I know moms that are, you know, with a family. They have a husband and you know, they have someone to support them. Why would you willingly want to be a single parent?
But do you
That's
think
a hard job to be a parent.
But do you think there's women that are better equipped now for all that? You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, be able to.
It is better now, probably because there's so many different ways. But I still see it. I ride the bus, so I still see them on the bus. I still hear them on the phone cussing baby daddy out. I still see them. I see it everywhere. And it makes me mad. And sometimes I get to talk to them, And then I find out that they're 25 and 26, and it makes me mad.
Yeah.
But, you know, the child is here now. So now you have to figure out how to be a better human being because he's looking at you. She's looking at you.
Yeah.
Now you have no choice. You have to grow up.
Yeah.
So get out of your way because you are the reflection of what the world is. And
to that child.
that's it. You are another TV.
You got to take responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, that's heavy stuff, man.
Yeah.
Very
like a
heavy.
very heavy combo.
No,
Start out with lots of good jokes, lots of heavy.
It's good.
It was good
I love
points.
heavy.
Yeah.
Life is heavy, man.
Yeah, it is.
If you really get to thinking about it. Do I have anything else? Do you have anything else? Do you have any? But you need a.
No, I feel like we're gonna end up having a part 2. I feel like we should have a part 2, and then I should just go through more of my youth with you. That's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna tell you what happened because
you've experienced a lot.
Listen,
man.
we didn't even get to community college days.
You got community college
Me
days?
almost dating one of the teachers after I left the community college.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Priceless moments.
That happens.
It was like very close to when I left the school, though.
Happens.
I left the school and like a year later, we're already on the phone talking.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he's a little bit older.
Oh man.
More of the things that I want to teach these young girls. Listen, keep running, keep running away, just straight.
Word.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well.
Is that it? Is that it? Do you have like a song to play on out? Last name David.
No.
And
it's none of that. There will be none of that. I think
the way you shut that down. No. Never.
I see the road you going down, and I need to set up the spikes and just like pop them tires.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was not it. I don't think you can even harmonize a last name. Like that's.
Oh, don't do I'm that. Laying down right now, but I can figure it out.
Let's
last name David.
I just wish it was different words.
What would you want to do?
Although
we've come to the end of the road, still I can't let
I'm gonna just leave and let you sing for the rest of the time. All right, man, let's get out of here.
That's a little